Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm your host, Warren Brazington, and this is the Authentic Truth Podcast. A couple things before I get started. If you would please take a moment to like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share the show to others, it would be greatly appreciated and will help you stay up to date on new and upcoming episodes, as well as help me spread these important messages to others. I want to personally thank everyone for listening and following the show. This journey has been very difficult and very rewarding at the same time. Each episode is a direct reflection of the challenges that I and so many others like me face today. My hopes are to give people real tools and real-world knowledge to face difficult times and uncertainty alike. I'm not some polished prophet speaking generic rhetoric, but a humble man who loves the world and wants to do his part in making it a better place. I know the struggles so many of you are facing because I've faced them and lived to talk about it today. Walking through life with fear and uncertainty is a dire existence. I'm here to shed light on the darkness most of you are in the midst of. There is always hope, and it starts with our very thoughts and how you and I interact with them. This episode is about facing your fears, and fear is self. Fear holds just about everyone back and is a pandemic in our current society, sadly enough. People live most of their lives scared and afraid. Face fear itself in this episode, because if you don't, your life will suffer and it will push beautiful things further and further away from yourself until you confront it with devout courage and the very definition of bravery. Let's get started. Fear doesn't stop death. It stops life itself. Living your life afraid to lose a job or your spouse, or fearing a partner leaving you is a terrible way to live. We come into this world with nothing, and we will leave with nothing as well. So why cling to nonsense? That is the definition of madness, in my opinion. I lived in fear myself. My career was filled with it, my career of the past. While working in construction, we were plagued with uncertainty every day in every job. No job was permanent, and economic woes were just part of the game. Many are facing this even in offices and cubicles alike. With the advent of AI, people are losing everything and having to start over from scratch. Fear will rule your life, and your mind will feed on it until you are so stressed and overwhelmed, and you may think medications or alcohol are the answer. They seldom are. A life of sheer avoidance is never the answer. If you made a mess of your past, it will follow you until you face it. You cannot outrun the past. Believe me, I tried. It will rear its ugly head in unseen ways. The demons in your closet are there until you open the door and face them. Fear is a mindset in my eyes. Once you start playing these scenarios in your way of thinking, it will grab hold of you and consume your whole being and your entire thought process. Living in fear is an oppressive way to live. Our world and society itself, sadly, is deeply saturated with intense fear. Fear of war, recessions, losing loved ones, grips of addiction, not being good enough, not being pretty or handsome enough or liked by other people. These are instances our minds will cling strongly to keep us stuck and buried to no end, seemingly. Like being suffocated one thought at a time. This episode is about shedding light on this and how to train your mind and not let your mind train you. This is the definition of the word fundamental. Rule your mind, or your mind will rule you. So many people that I talk to each day are scared to even show up completely in society, and few actually fully live their lives. I was one of them. I'm related to a person who lives in constant fear. He is so afraid of life that it has crippled his entire existence. Everything is a struggle, and he lashes out at just about everyone and everything that threatens his fragile state. People who live in fear can be hostile and even dangerous to be around in certain situations. If you do better in life than them, you are shamed, envied, and even attacked. The feeling of insignificance looms its ugly head in the form of fear and destroys families, friendships, relationships, and work partnerships. Fear holds most people prisoner, and they see no logical way out, even though they hold the keys to freedom within themselves. Let's take a look at an example. Imagine someone who is afraid to be alone in life. We will use a woman named Rebecca for this. Rebecca has low self-worth, self-esteem, and has self-image issues. She was abandoned by her father at a young age. This instilled fear in her, and she dreaded being alone and without the support of a male partner. She put up with abusive men just to have the safety of calling someone her own. She put her pride and safety last, just to cling on to something that was terrible for her. She was only attracted to older men as they filled the void of her absent father's role. Her self-respect was non-existent as she clung to abusive and terrible men just to feel she was worth something in the world. The only thing harder than being alone is being with someone who truly makes you feel alone. Not seeing and respecting yourself for your gifts or talents or what you bring to the table in the relationship is a tragedy. Dating in this fashion is degrading and will lead to drug and alcohol use just to numb the effects caused by the root of being afraid to be alone in life. We all know someone like her. This is not living. This is merely surviving. I'm here to teach others how to live and face their fear in all of its forms. If you are unhappy with yourself and don't love yourself, the opinions and conditions placed on you by others will reflect in every way, shape, and form in your reality. My family still tells me I need to find a woman so I'm not alone later in life. Looking at relationships and dating strictly out of a fear base or sense of lack will always result in the person settling for less than they ultimately deserve. Living in a fear-filled existence in our daily lives will result in off-the-chart stress at work, afraid of what the boss says, and your performance will show it. Being in fear will have you make big mistakes on the regular because you won't be able to think clearly or effectively. Here is another example of fear. David is an old colleague that I had. His life was fear. He was always concerned what others thought of him, and the thought of being fired or laid off terrified him. He constantly tried to have others like him because he despised and deeply hated himself on the inside. His confidence was only surface level. He saw others that were better craftsmen than himself as a devout threat to his very livelihood. He constantly said odd things because he let his fear do his talking. All of this fear hurt him emotionally and physically. He had severe heart problems, and I believe it is due to the stress he constantly put upon himself in his life. Fear will destroy you physically and spiritually if one does not address it properly. David, unfortunately, might not make it to the age of retirement. You can find inspiration in everyone, even if they inspire us not to be anything like them. There are a few ways to overcome fear in your life. The most straightforward is to stop the thoughts right when they start. You have total control over what thoughts you put your attention on. The goal isn't to eliminate fear, but to learn how to move forward despite it showing its ugly head to us. Fear is everywhere. We get to decide each day if we interact with it or choose to think productive thoughts that will replace it and benefit us. Facing your fears is how you overcome them, and ultimately, you will grow substantially in doing so. I used to be terrified of public speaking. I've given numerous deep talks to large groups to try and instill pride and confidence in them, and it was insane how difficult it was for me at the beginning. I had to recite word for word what I was going to say, or else I'd fumble on my words, or worse yet, draw a complete blank, which happened a few times. It took a lot of practice, but I got pretty good at it, and I even thrived on it later on. These experiences pushed me to do this very show. It's important to confront your fear head on, otherwise, it will master you. Not starting a business or buying a home out of fear will keep you stuck, and the goals you have and have wanted your whole life will stay far out of your reach. Fear is similar to resistance. Great things often come after you find the courage to face it. Here are some other steps to help you face this hurdle that we call fear. Challenge it. Ask yourself, why are you even afraid of it? What's the underlying cause? What would happen if I chose not to engage with this entirely? When dealing with destructive thoughts, it's best to replace them with a meaningful or happy one. Focus your attention on your kids, an activity you love, or a hike you just can't get enough of. This is much easier said than done, but it can be done with a lot of practice. Let's understand that this way of thinking in terms of fear has been molded and crafted for years or even decades, and it is not an overnight fix. When you feed your mind rubbish, it is going to take some time to rewire the way that you think and see your world. You just have to start. Otherwise, it will consume your entire life and will continue until you plant your feet firmly and tell yourself and life that you've had enough. Here are some other tips. Practice being as present as possible. The definition of being present is fully noticing what you are doing and experiencing in the now instead of replaying reruns of your past or things that have not happened yet. Notice your breathing and fully feel it. Put your hand on your heart and feel your heartbeat and notice your surroundings. This can snap you out of the trance fear can hold us to. Your mind will worry about everything. 80% of the things you worry about will never happen, so let go of all of it. Realize that the definition of misery is trying to control everything in your life. You have little control of outside events. If your boss lays you off due to budget cuts or the forest surrounding your neighborhood catches fire, there is nothing you can do anyway. Don't let surprises destroy your entire life. Tell yourself everything will work out and that it will. Trying to make everything go your way at all times will eat away at you slowly until there is nothing left. Let go of everything. You only have control of your inside world, not the outside one that we all live in. Tough moments will arise, and it is how we bounce back and handle these disturbances that matters the most. Your fear is your darkness. We all have darkness, some more than others. Look at your darkness through your light. There is always a sunrise, no matter how dark life gets, even if it seems like it takes forever. Staying positive is your way out. Constantly filling one's mind with negativity and fear is like letting a bag full of snakes loose in your neatly made room or house. You get the choice to choose what thoughts you entertain. Your entire quality of life depends on this. Fear is what holds most of society back. Tony Robbins, whom I deeply admire, supports this. Facing it is what separates the winners from the non-winners. Have the courage to face it and be bold about it. Your life and the quality of it depend on it. As a side note, my episode, The Path Within, has a PDF that I created to help you practice it safely and effectively. You can email me and I will send it to you. I have some openings in my self-mastery coaching program if you're interested in working with me as well. You can set up a discovery call and I'd be more than happy to discuss what you'd like to accomplish and achieve in your life. All of my contact info is in the show notes of every episode. I want to thank everyone for listening. Be proud, be brave, and this is the authentic truth.